Good morning, everyone. My name is SamyekJyotiKansakar, and today I am going to present my career development learning portfolio based on my internship experience at Work Alaya. This presentation will cover the main points from my report, including my placement background, my role in the company, the activities I completed, the skills I developed, the challenge I faced, and my future career plan. The purpose of this presentation is to explain how my internship helped me connect academic learning with real workplace experience during the placement. I worked as front end intern where I was involved in UI UX design, front end development, back end and API support, debugging, and professional communication. Though this internship, I was able to understand how real software development projects are planned, designed, built, tested, and improved in professional environment. Placement snapshot. For my career development learning model, I completed my placement at Workalaya, which is located in Kupandol, Lalitpur, Nepal. My internship started on 10th of August 2025 and continued until 26th November 2025. I worked as a front end intern and I was supervised by Mr. Adip Shrestha, who was a junior developer at Workalaya. The main purpose of this placement was to gain practical industry experience and apply the knowledge I had learned during my academic studies. Before this intern, my most of my experience was based on classroom learning, assignments, and small academic projects. But during this placement, I got the opportunity to work in a more realistic, developed environment. My work my work was mainly connected to UI UX design, front-end development, and back-end API support. I worked on designing UI-friendly interfaces, creating wireframes, developing responsive front-end components, understanding API structures, testing API responses, and debugging issues. This experience helped me understand the professional software development is not only about writing codes. It also includes planning, communication, teamwork, problem solving, testing, and improving the final products based on feedbacks. Internship purpose. Workalaya works with digital and software related tasks including design, development, testing, and project delivery. During my placement, I mainly worked with the development side of the team. My department helped me understand how design and development are connected in academic projects. I sometimes viewed front end, back end, and design as separate areas. But during the internship, I learned that these areas depend on each other. For example, a front end page may look good visually, but it still needs correct back end data to function properly. Similarly, an API might work correctly, but if the front end does not handle the data properly, the user experience can still be affected. My supervisor guided me through the placement by assigned tasks, reviewing my work and giving feedbacks. Working in the development department also helped me become more familiar with task discussion, feedbacks, session, and real project workflows. Main responsibilities. At the beginning of the placement, I had several outcomes that guided my activities. These learning outcomes were focused on improving both my technical and professional skills. Some of the main technique learning outcome included improving my UI UX design skills, developing front-end development skills, understanding back-end and API development, and improving system debugging and integration skill. Along with this, I also focused on professional skills such as communication, time management, teamwork, critical thinking, independent learning, adaptability, and presentation skills. These outcomes were important because they gave a clear direction to my internship. Instead of only completing tasks, I was also able to reflect on what I was learning from each activities. Overall, these learning outcomes helped me measure my progress throughout the placement. Technical learning outcomes. One important area of my internship was UI UX design. During the placement, I worked on creating wireframes, prototypes, user flow, and interface layout based on project requirements. This helped me understand the UI UX design is not only about making a screen look attractive, it is more about making the system clear, simple, consistent, and easy for user to navigate. While working on UI UX tasks, I forced on layout, structure, spacing, alignment, typography, color use, button placement, and screen flow. I also learned to think about how user would move through the system and whatever the interface would be easy for them to understand. This part of the internship helped me to build a stronger foundation in design thinking. It also helped me understand decision how design decision affect the final front end develop process. Professional learning outcomes. Another major part of my placement was front end development. I worked on converting UI designs into functional web page using technologies such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and front-end frameworks like React. My task included creating page layouts, buttons, forms, cards, navigating, selections, and reusable interface components. I also worked on making pages responsive so that they could work properly on different screen sizes. This was an important learning experience because I understood that front end development is not just about copying a design into code, it also requires clean structure, reusable components, proper styling, and testing. I became more aware of responsive design, especially when testing pages on desktop, tablets, and mobiles. Some layout worked well on larger screens but needed adjustment for smaller screens. This helped me understand the importance of planning responsive from the beginning, not only from the end. Overall, this learning outcome improved my confidence in front end development and helped me understand how design ideas are turned into a real working web interfaces. Academic context. Although my main role was front end focused, I also got the opportunity to understand backend and API support. This helped me learn how server side logic, database, and API support front end application. During the internship. I worked on understanding API endpoints, request methods, response format, and how front end components receive data from the backend. I also used tools such as Postman to test API responses and check whether the data was correct. This was a useful experience because I learned that front end development depends heavily on back end data. If the API responses is correct, incomplete, or not handled properly, the front end feature may not work as expected. I also improved my debugging skills. When occurred, I learned to check the problem step by step. I used browser developer tools, console logs, and Postman to identify whether the issue was coming from the front end code, back end responses, API request, or data handling. This helped me become more patient and logical while solving technical problems. Key challenges and responses. Along with technical skills, the internship helped me improve important professional skills. One of the main skills I developed was communication. I learned how to update my super I learned how to update my supervisor about my progress, explain technical and design related ideas, ask questions when I was unsure, and accept feedback professionally. I also improved my time management and task prioritization during the placement. I had to manage different tasks such as UI UX design, front end development, API testing, debugging, and feedback changes. I learned that it is more important to identify urgent tasks, break larger tasks into smaller tasks, and track progress regularly. Teamwork was another important skill. I learned that in software development, my work is connected with the work of other team members. So, proper coordination Clear communication and accepting feedback are very important. The internship also helped me improve critical thinking and independent learning. Sometimes I faced problem where the solution was not directly explained. In those situations, I had to research, read documentations, test different solutions, and apply what I learned. These professional skills will be useful for my future academic and career development. Evidence highlights.